Saul, how he hated David and what a leader David was, but David still was not perfect. He still made mistakes, like all humans will do. So now let's go over to the next lesson, which is Joshua's final exhortation. As we look at this, it's going to be a little interesting because I've got a lot of things I want to bring out that it's kind of stuff that I've done in my family or with my family. But Joshua is getting near the end of his reign, and Joshua is getting ready to give his final address to them, for lack of a better way of putting it. So in other words, things are coming to an end, and Joshua is going to give them his, kind of like a last will and testament, his last charge to them. Well, I got some notes in here somewhere, if I can find them. And as we look at that, we'll see how he goes about it. So at my house, whenever, I like to try to include my kids in stuff, in decision making, and let them see, I really just fill them out to see how they would handle stuff. So occasionally, Keith, this is what I would do. Usually at the supper table, after we got done eating, I'd say, all right, I need to have us come into conference. We need to have a family meeting. And they'd all get, excited because, hey, we're going to have a family meeting. And I'd address something or put something on the table. And, maybe it was, we're going to go on vacation. Where do we want to go? Do we want to go to the beach, to the coast, or to the mountains? And what do we want to do? Do we want to fish? Do we want to, shop? Or, shopping wasn't ever really one of the big things for us, but the wife and them like it. But anyway, so as we look in Joshua chapter 24, verse number 1, that's what's happening. Now, a meeting can get kind of crazy if you include everybody. If you don't have a moderator, a speaker, and someone to keep order, if everybody's talking, then ain't nothing getting done. So Joshua, when he calls this meeting, he don't ask for the whole crowd to come. He asks for their representatives. Now, if you think about this, the state of Colorado has a representative that goes to Washington, and they're supposed to watch out for the people of Colorado and do what the people of Colorado want. It's supposed to represent your thoughts and ways. Now, that very seldom happens anymore, but that's what it's supposed to work. So Joshua calls all these heads. So like Norman and Eddie, he'd call Eddie. He would go to the meeting. He'd come back, tell Norman what went on. That's just kind of how it went. So it was the chiefs, the captains, the leaders of all these tribes from all over was coming. So let's look in Joshua chapter 24, verse number 1. And Joshua gathered all the tribes of Israel to Shechem and called for the elders of Israel and for their heads and for judges and for all their officers, and they presented themselves before God. So he's assembled them together, and the place he's picked is a very significant place. It's a place where God for lack of a better way of putting it. God sleep. And he was and all these people gathered together, and they know how Joshua's led because they've seen the fruit. They've seen what God's done. as we look at this, on down all the way down to, I just want to read some of the things that was in the quarterly, and it kind of gives a little backdrop. So Moses and the Israelites had left Mount Sinai after the giving of the law by God. When they came to the border of Canaan, the majority refused to enter in and possess the land. As a result, God caused them to wander in the wilderness for 40 years while that first generation had come out of Egypt died. God just led them around in a circle, basically, until a whole crowd passed away. One whole generation. The new generation, led by Joshua, entered the promised land, conquered the heathen living there, and settled down. As Joshua neared the end of his life, he assembled the leaders of the nation and urged them to be faithful to God and the covenant he had made with them. Pagan religious influences from Mesopotamia, Egypt, and Canaan were spiritual threats that needed to be forcefully resisted. Joshua adamantly called upon the Israelites to make a clear choice. They could choose to serve Yahweh exclusively, or they could turn to polytheism, but they could not have it both ways. The people readily agreed to serve the Lord God only. What's polytheism? Anybody know? The worship of many gods. Poly meaning many. I'll never forget my pastor one time. It's getting close to political season, and he gave the definition of politics. Well, poly means many, and to following only God. To follow God only. To let God be their king, to let God be their leader. And you think about that. They've seen what all he's done. That's what it skips verses 2 through 13. It talks about all the stuff that God has done for them. Now, this is one thing I thought was good in this quarterly. And Lord help, I know we just now got a, what's it called, Speaker of the House. And I seen a thing where the Speaker of the House was praying on the House floor. Now to me, I'm like, yes, that's what we want. That's what we need. But in the back of my mind, it could have just been for show. I want to skip down to verses number 14 through 20, and we'll read those right quick. Apart from and if you have able to I know my decision, what will be your decision? He knows who he's following. He knows that he's their leader and God's blessed in his work. And he's asking in verse number 1. This is what we're going to do. Got all of them assembled together. And then verse 2, he goes through a whole list of stuff God has done. Just laying out pictures. Is what I'm asking you to do can be done. Can you trust God? Has God delivered us? Has God given us God? Yes. They are in the inheritance. God also instructed, this is a little finite detail that is kind of overlooked in these verses, but was mentioned before. When they went into that land, what were they supposed to do to begin inhabitants of that land? They are the letters. They set the honey on the goods. That's exactly what they were supposed to do. But they did not. Now, who knows right and wrong? God or man? And God said, rid the land of all their inhabitants. Keep that don't mean pick up the religious scrolls and leave them. And it don't mean leave the necessary in the stones. It means destroy every living person in that land. You say, that's harsh. That's mean. Who knows better? Who knows what's right? Therefore, that's what caused them problems. They left some of them. Now, I don't know if you remember being back in high school or middle school, grade school, but can you ever remember a new person coming to school? And I mean, I'm talking from a male perspective, so that's all I know. I'm from my feminine side, hallelujah. But I can remember a girl came to school and she was pretty, and she hadn't never been there before. He called the guys and said, "Who are you? What's your name? Where are you from?" It's just natural thing. Somebody from out of town shows up. Maybe they're from Mexico, or maybe they're from Brazil, and they've got what we as white people think is the most beautiful skin on the planet. That's what we all want. But we get ready, crusty white and fake. And it just naturally draws to that because it's something new. Your eyes have not seen it. It's part of the human side. I mean, you a new car. You got some car on the road, you ain't never seen it. And it's got some nice style in it. It looks just naturally intrigued by it. I can remember there was a car company, day, some kind of name I couldn't say. I started seeing them, and I'm like, wow, so I looked it up. It intrigues me. Well, these strange people in this country that they live, and they didn't bring the country up, they had these strange things they did. But I'll use that. I'll just use one of their others. Maybe, they saw, maybe some of these people started growing up and they saw them get ready to eat their food or something, and they said, I don't know. And then some little kid sees that. Or maybe they see these funny little guys all set Indian style in these people's houses, and they're like, hey, can I have one of them? Let me take that to my house. Put them on my street. Or maybe they see some of these new people in their community, and they're thinking around, and they're not stuff in their homes. I mean, and then here the Israelite kids are watching it, and they're seeing it. They're like, well, that's all about it. We try that. Do you see how easy that can translate into idol worship? Maybe they have big fancy crosses in their homes, and the Israelite children and people, they look at that and they're like, wow. It wasn't just from that.
It was from when they went in there keeping the conquer the land. And they see this gold trinket. They don't know what it is, but it's gold. They're doing that. So they take it for themselves and they hide it. And then there it is in their homes and their children go, well, what is this? Well, now all I got to do is take a picture and let people tell them. What's the same today? Strange things attract us. Have you ever seen that little, it's something about this big around, it's real long and tall. They put a fan in the bottom of it, and it dances around and flops its arms. It's an attention giver. What does it work? I can guarantee you this: if it didn't work, it would be something around. What about this? Have you ever seen a spotlight sweep across the sky, come back and forth? You would say, oh, what that is? Is that the new star of Bethlehem I want? If I follow it, will I find Jesus in a manger? No, but you may find a car lot having a big sale trying to get you to come in there and buy a new car. A new furniture store man just moved in and they're sweeping that line across the sky to see if you show up. It draws. And all these little things were in the camp. But now let's go back to the meeting. We're meeting together because Joshua is getting ready to pass off the city. And he wants to know that his people are going to follow God. And he challenges the assembly's called, and he lets them know, that we're having this meeting. And then 2 through 13 shows them how capable the captain has been throughout history, throughout all their life. They've seen him work and do miracles, miraculous things that are unexplainable other than his God. So then let's look at the admonition he gives. He challenges them in verse 14 and 15. He says, "Now therefore, and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your fathers served." Now, this is going to get a little touchy. What you think about this? You can make a God out of anything. I don't care how ridiculous you think it is, you can make a God. I'm just going to share crazy ideas and notions. How many of you in here collect something? You're a collector of something. Both my boys are raising their hand, and Miss Patty's raising her hand. What do you collect? Cats, statues. Well, okay. What do you collect? What do you collect, Eli? Pocket knives. Now, I'll use, now, your little cat statues, they have a certain place. Where? You stick them all there and you look for new ones, and odd ones that you collect. Now, I think on Eli because Eli's got a display case full of knives. Knives, double, those over the glass so you can see. Now, I don't know where he got his at. I'm carrying it. But, they got a collection of knives. Now, where can that get us in trouble? You ever get down and bring your little cats and pray? How upset would you be if somebody come here and knocks one off and broke? Now, Eli, I'm not seeing you bowing down your knife display case. But you could really elevate those options way higher than they deserve. And I'm not going to aggravations too much about it. I don't really collect them. Some people collect baseball cards, tennis shoes, jerseys. I mean, you can, guns, a lot of men have guns. I'm just not a collectible person. If I have it, it's probably more out. And it's not collectible because you can probably go to Walmart and buy it. Just never been like that. But sentimental value. Do you plan on passing those cats down to someone? No. Do you plan on passing your knives down to someone? Do you? Probably brothers. If you had guns, let's say you had something out of a band. You don't like that. So let's say you had a bunch of guns and they were, one of the town guns. What would you want to hand that down and pass that down? Well, if you've got more than one child, that's going to be a problem. Which one's going to get more? Which one's going to bang? I'm trying to get us to see is that we have to be careful with our homes and our families. What we hold so dear. I can remember my dad, he had a 1976 step-side Chevrolet truck that he worked. When he was home, I couldn't drive a bicycle and drive. I was just afraid I would hurt his truck. I was 38 going on. And I mean, he's got a nice truck. I drove it. I was scared to death one time. Trying to drive like this Daisy. Somebody used to, I don't want to run over me, but I don't want to run over nobody and be scared. That's how I know the trouble. You pick whatever you want. I don't care what it is. Guns, ammo, baseball cards, vehicles, knives, cat statues, gnomes. You collect stuff. What is that? What is it? It's got bales, that's right. Little pretty bales. My sister collects those little, those little spoons. My sister collects those. She's got, I don't know how many. But here's the thing. Let me just give you the Bible. What does the Bible say will happen to all that stuff? I don't care what it is. It's going on this bigger part. It's not going to happen. That's what part of the problem with these Israelites was. They were battling. Yes, we're going to go all the way, and we're not going to forsake him, and we're going to do everything he says. But the whole time they got these idols in their houses and in their homes. And Joshua calls them out. But anyway, the challenge was to put away, look at verse 14, to put away these false gods that their fathers had served. Now, the reason I mentioned all that is because of what you read from people. Because if they know it was fear of you, they'll go and fear the evil. When in all actuality, guess what? It'll burn up one day. It don't mean nothing. We don't take anything with us. I guess money should be the one to use most. I mean, there's billions of dollars, and they plan on leaving it to their children. And there's nothing wrong with leaving that. What's it going to do to them? Is it going to become their God? Are they going to become those that worship the almighty dollar and want to add another meaning to it so they can leave their children to me? But at any time, you got to be careful what you hand down and leave. It can destroy their life. So we see the challenge made. Look at the care he offered in verses 16 and 17. And the people answered and said, God forbid that we should forsake the Lord and serve other gods. For the Lord our God, he is that promise. So basically, what they're going to do is go through all that God's done for them, which is good. They know what God's done. Forsake the Lord, no way, man. We know and we have seen what God's done. Ain't no way we're going to forsake it. We're not going to turn our backs on him. We're going to follow him. Yes, preacher, we got it. Yes, Joshua, our leader, our one that has followed God, set a good example. We're not going to turn our backs on him. No, no, no. verses 18 and 19, we see it said in verse 18, and the Lord drave out before us all the people. Well, there's nothing there. God instructed who to do that? Them to do that. And they didn't do it. They understand that God did it for them. God did give them the victory, but God gave them a part, and they didn't do their part. Joshua said, verse 19, unto the people, you cannot serve the Lord, for he is the holy God, and he is a jealous God. He will not forgive your transgressions, nor your sins. I think Joshua was telling them, say, look, I love what you're saying, but your actions don't match your mouth. In other words, you're talking the talk, but the other day Keith, I was in your house, and I saw Luke sitting on the statue. He was sitting there on the mountain. And if you love God, what's that trash going in your house? I think that's what Joshua's trying to get across. Because he knew. And how did he know? God had revealed to him. But Joshua didn't do anything about it. Remember what Joshua said? Joshua said, I have chosen. I know the I know my house. I don't have Mark Brooks and Will Nelson and the Outlaw Gang and all them right there on my DVD player. And you can come to my house. I'm not serving none of this other filthy trash. I'm not. It's not there. I know who I serve. Joshua is calling him out on him. And he warns him. He says, "Look, I know what God's going to do." I mean, you think about the man falling from heaven. God gave specific instruction, and when they disobeyed, what happened to it? I mean, it was so that it happened for months and months and months, and it rotted because God didn't want it to be like that. God said, "Get what you need for your family, and I'll supply it again tomorrow." It's always in ones. For hard times. And hey, go over there and get a shovel, make a hole over there, put something in that hole, just in case we need. That's not living by faith. That's not trusting God. And this whole time, Joshua was telling them, he's warning them, God gets angry when you don't listen. I'm getting tired of hearing talk about this. When you're told to take the trash out, and you don't take the trash out, makes people upset. I can remember when I was little, we had this lady that watched us while mom and dad worked. And they burned new trash. Problem was, it was up on top of a hill, in an overgrown field full of everything, scary to an 8-year-old boy. And my job was to take the poke, a brown paper bag, of trash, up there and set it on fire. And I had to walk through this little bit. It was scary, it was away from the house, but I didn't play with fire. It was only fire. I was back home having the keys, I got alive. I set them on fire. But man, I run up through there, half time dropped out the trash, had to go back and get it. But I didn't like to do it. But if I didn't do it, this little old lady, she knew how to take the hickory and make you surrender for everything. So when I didn't get the trash out, she would tell me again. She would just come into the room. I might be sitting there watching TV or something. She would squat and chase me to the trash. Chase me out. God is the same way. If you say you love him, he wants you to love him and know others. It's like a man and a wife. Whenever they're married, they want to be committed to one another, not to everybody in the city. And God is the same way. He wanted them to be faithful. And Joshua tells them, if you forsake the Lord and serve strange gods, then he will turn and consume you. After that, he hath done you good. You ever heard the old saying, don't bite the hand that what? How many times did you do that very thing for your mom and dad? Happens. We're all guilty of it. But it usually brings punishment. So here's the agreement. They've all decided that they're going to follow the Lord. Verse number 20. If you forsake the Lord and serve strange gods, then he will turn to you hurt and consume you after that he hath done you good. So every single possible, every decision you make in life has those. You realize that? Everything you decide. There's been many times when I've been driving a tractor trailer and I didn't really know what to do and I made a decision. Maybe I turned left, maybe I turned right. But once I get on that road, I'm committed to it and I have to deal with whatever I see. So if I turn on that road and the next thing is a sign that says warning, low grade, 12 foot. I'm reaping the consequences of a decision. I made a turn. It was the wrong turn. So now I'm going to have to make a new turn. Call a U-turn. Because I can't go under that bridge. Sometimes that can be an act of confidence. Sometimes it's a big wide road and it's no big deal. But there's always consequences. Choice in verse 21 and 22 starts with you first. And the people said unto Joshua and Achan, but we will serve the Lord. Now this is a group of people representing another group. So they can go home and say, look, this is what we're doing, we're following God. We've committed to it, we've signed it, we're held to it, we want to do it. Does that mean everybody at home is going to do the same thing? Never know. I mean, just because I choose to follow God, don't mean that you do. I want you to, I want you to do the best you do. But you have to make that decision. Same with God. You don't have to follow. You don't have to follow God. You don't either. We all make choices. But this whole lesson is about, are you going to choose to follow God? How many gods are in your life? It's the next question you need to ask yourself. What do I have currently in my life preventing me from serving you? Do you need to go home and remove some of your statues? Do you need to go home and remove some of your idols? Or are they hindering you from God? Maybe you need to go home and remove some guns from the gun cabinet because you're going to the gun store. Maybe you need to go home and take some footballs or soccer out of the cabinet because it's hindering you from serving. There's all kinds of others that can creep in, and we will always do our own homework and ask God, what's preventing me from serving? You should be willing to do good. Then we see last in verses 23 and 24. Conformity. Now therefore go away, said he, the strange gods, and incline their heart unto the Lord God of Israel. And the people said unto Joshua, the Lord our God will we serve, and his voice will we obey. Notice they did not say we will get rid of our stuff. It's not important to know. Now, God moved in this meeting, and I think they had a lot of time where they did serve God. But eventually, God went away. Idolatry comes back. What's the next book after Joshua? Judges. What is it all about? Them turning their back on God. Being caught in the mess, God calls them. They repent, cried God, He sends them to the He starts that cycle. I ask you, have you cleansed yourself from the evil things that's crept into your life? And we all do things in front of God, and we should. But are you willing to do it? That's the question. Are you willing to follow God? Anybody got anything you want to make comments of, questions about? Share something maybe God is more path to serving God.